Hi, this is Karen with Karen's Carrots. How is everyone? Good evening. I'm glad to be here. And once again, I am here with a very special guest tonight. This is a treat for you all. I thank you all for tuning in week after week. You can let us know where you're calling from, okay? You can let us know where you're checking in from. You can do that in the chat. We'd love to know where you're checking in from, and we thank you for joining us this evening. As you know, Karen's Carrot is all about EAs in the C suite. And tonight, the C suite is on the entrepreneurial level. And we have a guest here this evening by the name of Imani Schectman. Welcome, Imani.
Hi, Karen. I'm so excited to be here.
And we're excited to have you here. Just let me share a little bit about Imani, and she'll take it from there. She's the founder and curator of Pointed Spaces and Open Market. She's an artist, an educator, and a healer. As an African American female business owner, Imani's dedicated to designing solutions that create financial freedom for Black and Brown communities. Welcome again, Imani, and why don't you give us who you are in your own words?
Those are my own words. I am all the things that you shared. I am for sure an artist first. I love art. I love creating. I love giving people an opportunity to create. And I'm an educator because I feel like, we need to teach each other how to, hold on one second. My eyes are burning. I'm not sure why. This is showbiz, folks, so the show must go on, but excuse me while I, tap into my self-care. So yeah, I am an educator. I'm a healer. I believe that it's incredibly important to teach others what you learn. So like everything I learn, I try to find a way to teach it to someone else, whether it's someone like a peer or a mentee. This way that we're sharing the skills and we're up-leveling each other. And I'm also a healer. I am a yoga instructor and I'm a wellness advocate. I'm very passionate about essential oils and just creating space for yourself to be grounded.
Okay. Tonight we're going to be talking about Black-owned businesses utilizing EAs and VAs. And Imani, as an entrepreneur and business owner, actually fits that and have a EA or a VA. Imani, what do you have?
I would say that she started out as a marketing intern and then swiftly has become my EA. She's amazing, and I could not pass up on the opportunity to bring her on as my assistant.
I was going to start by asking you, how did you arrive at getting an EA? But you told us. Really nice that she was an intern, because that was, we'll just call it a trial period, a period that you had to work with her without really entering any kind of contractual agreement. Is that fair to say?
No, we had a contract, but we kind of just said, you know what, this feels better. And we had a discussion about what it would look like for her to step into more of a EA position. And we both felt really great about it. I think we have so I think it's so important to like tell our like coming of age story because it's so magical how we met. I was like at home, thinking about, what it is that I'm creating and, knowing that I need the support to really make both businesses thrive. And so I put a call out. I just, sent a message in one of my groups and I was like, I'm looking for a marketing intern or someone who can help with some of the back end work. And I promise you, as soon as I press send, she literally messaged me. Like before I could blink, she was in my inbox being like, hey, I'm so interested. Can we talk? And I was like, yeah, yes. And we set up a call and we just gelled really well. And I think what I love the most about her is that she's very like even. When I get excited or like a little bit stressed, or I'm like, okay, like what is our timeline? How are we looking? How are we supporting the vendors? Is this going out? She's like, I've got it. It's under control. It's happening. Check your inbox. And I'm like, oh, or like even, I'll text her and be like, hey, did, this go out or whatever? And she's like, yeah. And she's like, yeah. Or I'll be like, hey, my favorite thing is like when we both sometimes have an idea at the exact same time and we literally send voice notes at the exact same time. And it's like, you're in my head. You are literally in my head.
But that is truly magical, as I believe that's the word you use, because one of the things that is really great is when you do get someone who gel with you and you're even at opposites. If that's the case, you may get anxious about something and they maintain an even keel. To learn that in the process and not necessarily get it right at the jump, that is really great. I was going to ask,
Yeah.
this looks like a step perhaps you were blessed not to have to experience, and that is determining before time exactly what you need. You said marketing, and I think you named one other thing. A lot of times, an entrepreneur doesn't have it all together, what they feel they'll use the EA or VA for. The other thing is they have a tough time letting go. Talk about that.
I know. I think, speaking on, not really knowing what you need, I think because we're so used to doing everything, the emails, the outreach, the social media, the press releases, the legal actions, like all the things, setting things up, we're so used to doing it. I think as, for me as a first time founder, it was kind of on me to figure it out and set it up. And there is definitely a control that gets to happen that you release to your team. And I think that it's really important that you build that trust with them first, and that you give them things that they can actually show you that they can do it, right? So I like to, we just kind of like jumped in and I was like, hey, let's start making graphics. Like, and as an artist, I'm very particular about the way that things look and the way that things are placed and colorization and all those other things. And so I was like, let's just create the graphics and see how it goes. And she came back with them and I was like, okay, this is something that I would create. So that's good. And so we tried another set of graphics and I said to her, okay, like, let's try to incorporate more of this. And she was very receptive to feedback. And I think she being receptive to feedback and like changing it, and then me also being open to like having another person have a different perspective has really allowed our relationship to like grow. It also has allowed us to have this like synergy of like, okay, everything that I do looks like what you would do, and everything you do looks like what I would do. And I think that's incredibly important when you are working with a team.
I totally agree. Um, One of the other things when taking an EA on as an entrepreneur, not only do you need to know exactly what you want them to do, well, I shouldn't say exactly, but for the most part, you should have an idea how you will utilize their time. Now, I think you should also determine whether you're comfortable with them being remote or will you require FaceTime. Tell us the importance of determining that.
Yeah, I think that because everyone is virtual right now, we should really capitalize on that because there's so much great talent out there. And if you just limit yourself to like your region of the world and say, okay, I'm only going to work with people from here, you might miss out on amazing talent that will bring your business to the next level, that will be able to provide a unique perspective, that will be able to really support you, and you can be doing other things and the business can still be working. And you can also be taking care of yourself, which is such a big thing that like I think us founders don't always do because we're so caught up in like getting the work done and making sure this is right. But handing some of those responsibilities off to your EA will allow for that.
Now you put your notice, advertisement, what have you. You put that out. You said you needed this and you needed that, and you immediately got a response. Was there any other connection with this individual? In other words, you had little vetting to do of the individual initially?
So we definitely had a call, and I think it was pretty instant. Like I'll have to double check with her, but I think it was pretty instant because we just had really great conversation just as humans. And then I was able to say, okay, these are the things that I'm looking to get done. And at the time, I was a little bit frazzled because I was like, working on open market, figuring out what I was going to do with that, and then also launching another market. And so she came in and was like, okay, so here are the things that we can do. Here are the things that I can offer, right? Like we'll create a branding guide so that all of the media looks the same, right? We'll create this document, keeping everything organized, like really able to break things down so that it was just like fluid.
Let me just ask this question because it just dawned on me. Any resume or reference that sort of corroborated what it was that she was able to do? Because you can have a great assistant, but they may not be artistic or creative in your world. That's a great compliment, but they may come
Yeah.
with a whole host of skills that really help you administratively, but they're not necessarily gifted in, the art world.
Yeah, I mean, I have a very diverse team. Like the open market team is so diverse. And I think that is what sets us apart. I think that's what gives us the energy to keep moving forward. Everyone on the team brings something different and everyone respects each other's level of expertise. And I think that is incredibly important so that folks are not taking things personal, but also seeing that this is a different perspective and that obviously it's for the betterment of the business. And I know we hear that a lot. People say, oh, it's for the business. But really, I believe that my team has a great understanding of this is why we're doing it, this is the mission, and we all believe in it. And so if one person, and it doesn't have to be me, says, okay, we are going to pivot in this direction, or let's take this call with this investor, we are in agreement that that will happen. And it's not, well, maybe we should do this, or maybe it's this person is the expert, they have experience in there, they believe that this is the right decision, we're going to go for it.
That understanding, that self awareness, even you all sound like you have great socializing, networking, great communication. It's all things we talk about in mastering the soft skills. So that sounds like a nice little heaven on earth in the
Oh,
workspace, you
I
know?
mean, the open market team is amazing. I literally have been blessed with such a great group of people who believe in what we're doing and who are completely enamored with how many people that we are impacting right now and how many people we are going to impact. And
So
so
for the
that is the,
audience, tell us a little bit about that. I mean, I know you're saying open market, and I'm sure I know you have guests on here tonight, and I want to say hello to all of your guests and your team who joined us this evening.
yay!
And I
Hey
thank you,
guys.
you dedicated Karen's Carrots folks who are with me on a regular basis. Thank you so much for coming. But I'm going to let Imani share a bit about the open market because it's an awesome, awesome business she's put together. Go ahead.
Yeah, so Open Market is a live virtual marketplace for BIPOCs, Black, Indigenous people of color, to come and showcase their products and their services, to be in community, and to connect with consumers who are really intentional about where they're spending their dollars. And believe in Black and Brown businesses, believe in shopping local, believe in putting money in the hands of folks who are going to change the world.
So give us an idea of who's present or what kind of products or services are available in the open market.
So it really varies from market to market, which I think is absolutely amazing. Of course, before the market, we have like a whole lineup and you get to be introduced to our vendors. But we've had jewelry makers, soap makers, candle makers, artists, yogis, life coaches, apparel
Oh,
lines, journal makers. Like we literally have everything.
all
The
over the
only
map.
thing
That's fantastic.
The only thing that I'm, and I'll put it out to your audience, because if you have this business, we want you at open market. I'm looking for someone who
Okay.
sells genuine crystals. I think that a lot of us are getting into like the practice of crystals and like what it means and charging
For
up
the
your
healing
house and charging.
properties.
Yes, right. And so I'm looking for someone who is an authentic crystal business that has experience in selling crystals and can educate people on the properties of crystals.
That is wonderful. And how can one take advantage of, or that is, patronize the various vendors you have on? How frequently is that available?
Yeah, so we have had 7 markets so far. We are currently planning out our 2021 calendar that is soon to be released.
Okay.
I would absolutely love if we could, drop it by the end of the year. But we're still working on it, and we want to make sure that it is right for our vendors. And you can go to our website and sign up for our newsletter and let us know that you are interested in being a vendor. You can also send us a DM on underscore open market and let us know that you want to be a vendor there. Or you can always send us an
Okay.
email at pointedspaces@gmail.com.
And we're going
And
to have that in the chat for
yeah,
one who
perfect.
wants to, take a look. And I would encourage you to do that and participate. And if you know anyone who sells crystal.
Yes, or other things, right? The whole mission behind open market is to really start transforming the items that are in your house, right? So, I have this amazing hair oil by Holistic Bliss, and the first time I got it, I was excited, right? Because I was trying this new product. But now I've run out and I'm like, oh my gosh, is it on its way? Because now my hair needs this oil. And so I want people to start, using these products in their whole life. I want people to think about going to these vendors before they hop to larger corporations or, medium-sized businesses.
Now, recently you had an opportunity to pitch your business. Tell us about that.
Oh my goodness, Karren, it was so amazing. It was my first pitch. I had been working really hard to make sure that I was like set up to do it. I was going to pitch practice, and I just did it. I just knew that I needed to be in front of this panel and just pitch my business and have the world hear what we're doing, because so many people need to know about it, but also we are looking to up level open market. And so, as many of us know, as founders, funding is one of the number one challenges that we face. And, this funding will support us with the next level. And so I was like, you know what? My vendors, my customers need to have the best, and we need the funding to do so. Because our long-term goal is to build out a platform where people can shop 24/7 and people can still engage with the vendors, on a regular basis.
I'm gonna if you would give me that information, let's see if I can put it in now.
Okay.
We'll put it in the chat as well, but let me put it in now so anyone is unable to remain to the end, they can get it now. So go ahead.
Yes. I just dropped it in the chat.
Oh, good.
Um,
Okay.
I think everyone can see it. I put it in
Good.
our chat. Um, I hope you all can see it. We are
If
in, say it again.
if they're unable to see it now, I'll definitely have it there for anyone who comes back or wants to see it after we're gone or are
Okay,
looking at the replay. They will definitely have it. I'll make sure that it's
okay, great. Yes. So we are in a pitch competition. It feels like I think we're at the bottom of the 7th inning because it ends tomorrow at 11:59:59.
vote,
But I'm
vote, 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 vote.
Yes, please vote, because we are so passionate about what we are doing. We really know that this platform will transform the way that small businesses are supported and the way that we shop in a safe manner. And I just can't wait to bring this to the community. So please go out and vote. Please do not wait until 11:59. It's just going to give me so much anxiety, and I know that you all want to support. I want to give you the details about voting. It is $5 per vote, so less than a latte, less than 2 tubes of Burt's and Bees for all my chapstick fanatics. And so we are just asking for a $5 contribution for a vote, and it is $5 per unique email. So I'm going to say it again for everyone. It is $5 per vote per unique email.
And the cost that it's going to, as you mentioned, one of the greatest challenges of us upstarts is the funding. So it is
Yeah.
definitely going towards a worthy cause. And in your case, they can even participate by bringing their goods to the marketplace. You know, I was
Yes.
um, you have such an interesting business to assist you is exciting because it's not the routine run of the mill kind of activities that you're doing. I mean, there's nothing wrong with them. Some people love keeping schedules and planning trips, the travel, expense reports, organizing meetings, but fun stuff that requires those same skills is just icing on the cake.
Yes. I mean, this has been an absolute blast. Like, I truly do not feel like I'm working. And I know, some people are really cliche and that must be cliche, but really, I do not feel like I'm working. I feel like I'm standing in my power. I feel like this is my purpose. I'm a connector and I'm a believer in that we all are doing something for the greater good. And I know that open market is social impact. And because I know
Excellent.
that, I've partnered with different organizations. We have a sister company that we're supporting in Nicaragua, and I'm incredibly proud of the work that they're doing. It is ran by a woman named Aurelia, and the organization is called Proyecto Parajo, and they are a women's empowerment organization in Nicaragua. And so part of our plan is to have, 10% of our proceeds support them because they are learning skills and they also are bringing their goods to the market as well. So we want to make sure that everyone is supported across the globe, not just in, our little bubble of New York, but in the world and sharing in this space together.
But what a terrific model to incorporate that social responsibility even as you begin to scale your business. It's already implanted in your model.
Oh, yeah.
You talked about your terrific team. What happens, or have you encountered frustrated assistant or feeling overloaded? Do you sense those things? Have they gotten there? How did you handle them if they did?
Oh, wow. I have really been blessed. I think that everyone is managing their schedule accordingly. I think that we live by an open communication policy. We all have like a standing meeting once a week for an hour where we touch base. And I think what really helps is that I've structured it in a way where we come on as humans first. We, talk about our day, we talk about our week, we talk about a show we're watching or something that came up, school, because a lot of them are working on furthering their education. And so we talk about those things. We talk about family, friendship, love, happiness, joy, how to stay grounded. And then we transition. There's like this like lovely flow that goes into us talking about open market and like what we can be doing to be pushing the business, supporting our vendors, becoming more visible, research, how can we implement new skills, how can we, professionally develop our vendors, how can we create more space for our vendors. We have those conversations, and then we usually end with something a little bit fun. We like either watch a video or we just like sit there and say, wow, that was so great. Okay, like, well, what are you about to do after this call? And then usually it's like, oh, well, I'm about to get back on my emails, or I'm going to FaceTime a friend. And then we end and, we text and we FaceTime and we have Zoom calls pretty regularly. So I know where everyone is. For example, one of my assistants actually, is in school and is a little bit overloaded, and we just had a quick call. And I was like, is there anything you want to talk about? And I think she literally just wanted us to like be in the same space together. And we like talked about a few things, and I like worked on the pitch competition, and she was eating food and I was having a snack, and it was like totally fine. And it wasn't, and we didn't feel like we were losing time. We were just spending time together, which was really nice.
That is really nice, and it's important too, especially like look at you. You're in what has to be called a high pressure time period, even if it's being handled with calm and everyone has this open communication and all. You're still in this high stress period, I'll call it, because nobody
Oh yes.
and
Oh yes. Oh yes. But when you look at us, we're like, how are y'all so happy? And it's like, well,
that's
this is
yes.
actually enjoyable.
That's what I'm getting at, and you have it, you're experiencing it, you represent it. What tips would you give to? Okay, I want a couple things. I want tips you would give to the new owner slash entrepreneur or entrepreneur slash owner
Okay.
in terms of getting the right EA, that whole process. What are some important things that, you'll have your own list of pertinent things you want your EA or VA to have, but from your own experience, what advice would you give for that selection process to someone who may be considering it or someone who may
Yeah.
not recognize they need it? Because, when you're freed up to concentrate on things that only you can do, and you have a responsible person doing all those things that has to get done, that's almost a perfect marriage, I would think.
I would think so. I think that like I cannot wait for us to have our end of year party, our virtual end of year party, because we're all, spread across the world actually. And so, I would recommend that as a founder first coming in, know that you are still learning. And while we might feel like we're experts in the field, allow other people to show their expertise, allow other people to show their skills, and also be open to asking questions and to have questions asked of you. And I know this looks different for everyone, but I love moving in a space of like love and compassion. So that is why I structure our meetings to be like human first, right? Like we never start about like open market or pointed spaces or, how many shoots are we booking? Like we don't talk about that. We talk about how are you doing today? What do you need today? And I think that that really supports folks knowing that you see them as a human first and that the business is there and it's important, but you need them to support you with the business. So I would say having those things. And then I'd also say like be open to people with different skills, right? Because you might say, like, when I came in, I was like, okay, I think the first thing that I want to bring in is like someone who does marketing, that's really good at marketing, because that was the advice that I was getting. You need someone to do marketing. You need someone to launch a marketing campaign, social media, ads, and all those things. And you really can't learn it in a day. So I am open to what it looks like. And so her and I decided that yes, she started out as my marketing intern, and now she's my executive assistant, right? Because she has the skills to do it. She can manage the tasks. She can keep calm. She can, interact with people on a professional level. That's also really important. And so I think those are the tips that I would offer. Because once you have those things, everything else just kind of falls into place. Oh, and really, I have one more tip. Would be to be realistic about the time that you're asking people for, and ask them what is their time commitment, right? So some people might like come in and say, "Oh, I can do 20 hours a week," but then when you start working, 20 hours looks a little bit different. So having open conversations and saying, "Okay, I know we start at 20 hours, but I actually need 30 hours. How does that fit with your schedule? Or what can I take off your plate?" So that folks feel like they're being supported and that they're being heard and that their time is not being wasted.
And that's very, very important. That was a good example in terms of time because let's face it, you may not have experience in having an assistant, and the assistant doesn't have the experience, for instance, just working for one individual. Let's say it's just the entrepreneur right now, and they are just a two-person shop. So you're both learning. And one of the things you said, you have to be open and flexible, okay? Because it's not like you have a track record behind you and the other person does not either. At least you don't have them working together. So
Right.
open, being flexible, having some empathy. I think those are ingredients that lead to a workable, positive situation. So
Yeah.
that's
And
great. I
human
mean,
first.
I
And like
don't.
human first.
That's a good one to live by. Humans first. I like that. Did you all
Yeah.
hear that out there? Humans first. But that's an
Humans
important message.
first.
That's a
Yes.
very, very important message. I mean, because it like lays the groundwork in my mind that it's all going to be okay. We're going to learn together. We're going to work together. And hopefully, that coming together means I embrace your philosophy and concept as far as this business is concerned. I believe in it, and I'm going to bring
Thank
you my
you.
best. Okay?
Thank you. Thank you
I,
so much.
you are quite welcome. It's been a pleasure. And let's just give the
Yes.
folks a reminder that we are in this time bomb right now and it's set to go off. So,
Ah! And I want like confetti and glitter and like balloons to fall
oh yes,
from my virtual skin.
yes,
Like I want it
we're gonna
all.
have the celebration. When you get there in the number one spot, we're gonna all virtually toast you together. How's that?
Yes, and I do want to invite your audience because we are going to have a virtual toast on Friday because, we want to celebrate and we just want to thank everyone for coming out. People came from all corners of the world to support us. And so I will send it out to you so that you can share with your community. Come by,
Okay.
bring a glass of seltzer or champagne or whatever you choose. Just come by and celebrate.
That sounds wonderful. I'm talking to a sister with a global business. I love it.
Yes!
I love it.
Yes!
So I
Yes!
thank you all for joining us this evening. I really do appreciate your being here. Let's see.
And thank you, Karren, for
Put the
inviting
website
me.
in there. That's great. I really do appreciate Karen's audience, and I appreciate these superstars that I've been blessed to join
Mm.
this platform Thursdays at 7. They all bring value. I thank you so much. And I want to say to everyone out there who is on the live tonight, if you want more information, I'm all things executive assistance. Please put your name and email in the just DM me or email me and let me see if I can put that information up there. You all are just a great audience, I tell you.
They
I
are fabulous. And I wanted to thank you, Karren, for inviting me into your space and to meet your
Oh, my
community.
pleasure.
They have been so gracious, and I can't wait to see them at the market. I just want to say thank you for your votes in advance. I cannot
Oh, you
wait to be in first place with balloons and
oh
confetti
you
and
will. Oh,
everything, and my
neither
whole
can
team
I.
screaming.
Listen, ever since we've been in this virtual world, I haven't had a virtual champagne. So I'm waiting for it. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Okay,
And I
Friday,
see a
it's
friend of
happening.
mine joined
It's
in tonight. Hi,
happening.
Dwayne. How are you? Yeah, I would like that very, very much. And I want to hear the clink clink virtually when we
Yes.
how's
We'll
that?
have all of it. I'll make sure that the team has it prepared for you to have your virtual clink clink. So once again, thank you everyone for inviting me into your community. I can't wait to connect with you all. The link for the pitch competition, I believe, is in the chat. So please check it out there or swing back later to get it when Karren posts this video.
That's wonderful. Thank you, and I'm sure they will. I had one other thing to say, and it has gone.
You
But
got excited
as
about
I
the, okay,
say,
go ahead,
for
go, go,
anyone
go.
who watches the replay, just hashtag replay for us, okay?
Okay.
Imani, I know I'll be in touch with you before the bewitching hour, but listen, I'm just throwing all the votes your way. How's that?
Thank you. Thank
You're
you so
welcome.
much.
My pleasure. And I thank you all for joining us this evening. And we'll see you next Thursday at 7 with Karen's Carrots.
Thank you, Karren's Carrots. Talk to
You're
you soon.
welcome. Will do.